And things are opening.
What's up, folks?
And we are live. Keith, take it away.
Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
And I don't want to get right into it, but I just saw People magazine is showcasing Kelly Clarkson and her big weight loss miracle. The
Hmm.
word on the street is that she lost over 40 pounds from Ozempic, the new Hollywood drug that gets rid of your fat. But she's not saying that. She's saying she lost her weight. If you want to lose 40 pounds very, very fast, go for more walks. She moved her show to New York City and now she walks more and lost 40 pounds immediately.
I
How
mean, she's not
great.
wrong. I'm sure as soon as you start moving, your body changes. I heard of this drug once recently and ever since. Just as I heard of it, I'm like, now I'm going to hear it every day, right? And I've been hearing about it all the time now.
We've been in
Is
New York for decades. We should be fit as fuck. This is a just you just walk more here in the city as opposed to LA. And if you see me and it looks like I'm on steroids, I'm gonna go, yeah, I've been walking lately. She does cold plunges, and so she lost about 45 pounds.
is Ozempic not like people don't want to admit to
No
using
one
it? Is
wants to
it
admit it, right?
no?
Meanwhile, it's the hot new drug now.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. You immediately shit out all your fat. Kelly Clarkson credits moving to New York City. It bothers me. It bothers me the way I see somebody on the cover of like some sports magazine and it says the body issue, but everything's photoshopped where the woman doesn't even have elbows. It's don't go just do what you do, but don't go out of your way. You're making everybody feel shitty that can't lose the weight by walking.
Hmm.
I don't like it. It bothers me. Kelly Clarkson credits moving to New York City and listening to her doctor for a new svelte look.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, and listening to her doctor, who is that a prescribed drug?
To walk. Yeah, yeah. Ozempic is prescribed. Yeah,
Hmm.
walking in the city is quite the workout. Yeah, New York City, you got to dodge and weave. You're always bumping into people. It's real aerobics. People tell me, go on a treadmill, do cardio. I'm like, how about I just walk a couple blocks? And I'm really into infrared saunas. That'll do it. And I just got a cold plunge because everybody wore me down. That'll do it. A nice cold plunge. Good for her.
What is that? You plunge in a cold water?
You go in cold water and you lose 10 pounds. Everybody knows that. Followed by a good walk. How don't you know you sound fucking ridiculous? You're looking good. Thanks. I've been delivering the mail myself to the post office.
Yeah, but the
Thank
thing
you.
is I'm sure someone's listening going, I did do it with walking,
Then
except
tell me. Then tell me you lost 40 pounds in 3 weeks from walking.
not, is she saying three
I
weeks?
don't know. It's very,
All
very
right.
fast.
Okay.
It was very, very fast. You lose it from walking. How dare you even co-sign this a bit? Even a bit.
I don't
Everybody's
know.
everybody's starting a new year trying to be their better selves, and we got to pretend you can lose 40 pounds fast by walking.
No, but I think those magazines are make pretend. So I
So
think
know that.
no,
We
I
can
think
say when it's ridiculous that it's fucking Mad Magazine.
yeah, I think it always is. Yes.
As long as people know that, good. I got a whole bunch of stories getting me riled up. Starbucks will now let you bring in your own cup.
I thought you
Have
could always do that. Because like
have you?
they stopped doing yeah, I saw the big news. They stopped doing refills. Like you can get refills on hot coffee if you bring your own cup or something because you're saving the environment. But then
Mhm.
they had to stop doing that during COVID because you can't touch each other's shit.
Uh,
So I don't know if they're bringing it back or it's something a little bit different.
they're giving you a discount if you bring your own cups as well. Customers in the U.S. and Canada can bring their own reusable mugs. Those who use personal cups will get a 10% discount, and rewards program members will get 25 stars, whatever that is. The move is part of Starbucks' commitment to reduce waste by 50% by 2030.
Wow, it's a lot.
I I would hate this if I worked at Starbucks. I would
Of
hate
course
it
you would. Of course you would.
because you would give me your cup and then I fill it up and they're like, can you fill it up to the top? Like, actually, I measured your cup and that's 10 ounces, not 8 ounces, as per
Mm.
your espresso. It'd be a whole to do. Let's just fill it up. Well, I can't. We have our sizes. Everything's push button because the managers think we're idiots. The right amount of ounces comes out. I promise it's correct.
And
I
you
don't need
actually
this
don't,
aggravation.
as a person who's gone to Starbucks, I haven't been frequently anymore. Uh, if you want a to do, you go to Starbucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Starbucks, let's see. Starbucks put two caveats on the type of personal cup a customer can bring. It must be clean. No, fucking imagine. You tell somebody it's not clean.
Ooh, that's
Your,
tricky.
your
That's
cup's,
tricky.
oh, sorry, we can only do it if it's clean.
Because what does that mean? Did I just dump my coffee out, but you want me to actually, rinse it and wash
Are you
it?
are you calling me dirty?
Yeah.
This is this could turn into a fight easily. Must be clean and hold less than 40 ounces.
40 ounces
Remember
is a lot. That's a lot.
remember when Starbucks, the white owner, that feels important, said, you know what? He started hashtag race together. Do you remember this?
Hmm.
And and there was the civil rights slogan, "We shall overcome," and he would take out ad space in newspapers and go, "Shall we overcome? When you come to a Starbucks, feel free to talk to our baristas about race and have a
Mm-mm.
good dialogue with them, as if they went to school for it." I would rather talk about race than have to deal with these fucking gobs of people.
But who wants to talk about race even with their closest friends sometimes? Like you go back for
Right.
Thanksgiving, you don't even want to talk to your parents about it, but you're going to talk to a random person who's forced to be there and serve you coffee. I don't see how that's fair to your employees.
I go, can I get a large? And they go, large? What's a large? But now we're going to talk about race?
Yeah, some people don't even know their favorite color. We're going to talk about people's ethnicities.
Do you think that's why they keep fucking up our names? I go Keith. They go Keith with a Q. And I'm like, are you making it African so we talk about this stuff? Is this deliberate? Shelly with a K? Sure. Okay. Just get you want to do something about race? Give black people free coffee for a month. Wouldn't that be something?
That would be weird.
It'd be strange, but I think it's a little I think talking about race is a little stranger.
Yes, but that would be weird now trying to decipher. Imagine they say like just give Middle Easterners a free cup of coffee. And now I go into everywhere and they're trying to decide if I'm Middle Eastern or not.
You have to initial all the different steps when you work there on the when you clean the cappuccino machine. But now you're going to be ready to talk about race with a customer. There's a line on the coffee cup that tells the employees not to overfill it. But we're going to start talking about race to somebody that might be waiting for me after my shift. Dunkin' Donuts, by the way, they say you can come in and talk to us about Jews. Yeah. Canadians, Tim Hortons is like, you can discuss your Asian fetish over here. Yeah, this cup thing I don't like. Just sell coffee and that's it. Why do you always got to do this extra bullshit that fucks with the employees? Would
Yeah,
it?
get creative with the art on your chalkboard, not
Yes.
with the discussions while I'm online.
For customer safety and ours, baristas are unable to rinse personal cups in Starbucks equipment sinks. For this reason, no dirty cups will be accepted. Being in the service industry is not enough hassle as it is without this bonus shit. When I was a waiter, multiple times people actually brought in their own food and said, "Can you heat it up in your microwave?" And I'd have to say no, and they'd get mad. Like, what's the big deal?
What?
Yes,
In Tupperware?
and whatever. Yeah, in
Well,
Tupperware. They'd be like, "Oh,
put
this
this
is
in
my
your
lunch from
microwave.
earlier. Can you just heat this up a little bit for me, for my kid, for whatever?" It's like, no, I
Oh,
can't. You can't. You can. Well, you can stick it in the oven just for a little bit. It's already on. Well, I
wow.
can't. Why can't you? What? And now you bring in your fucking dishes from home? That's not going to work out. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Oh, well. I saw this. Here's some fun news.
Oh no.
An Oklahoma teenager beat the unbeatable game of Tetris.
I saw that.
See, isn't
Thanks
that
to
a feel
going
good?
to Thanks to going to the doctor, I get to see regular television sometimes.
Okay.
Now, it was on mute, but I saw that they actually had the video of him while he was doing it, and he got like, what was it, 9,900 and something?
He busted the game. For a while, it's all nines in the score, and then eventually the game just crashes. What they call level 157.
He's 13 years old.
13 years old. That's a bummer to peak at 13, but good for him. I don't know who you brag at school. Nobody gives a shit, but I don't think you're going to get a kiss from it. But anyway, congratulations. It's a big day for him.
Well, I think now you just kind of blew your cover. Your parents now know how much you've been playing that game.
Right.
So
Right.
if you're trying to cover anything, it's too late.
The game, it happens to be the game's 40th year anniversary.
What does he
Um,
get? Tetris for life for free?
what he gets a Pac-Man arcade game now. I saw the video. He whenever he got the kill screen, I guess he started recording knowing he might get it, but he was still surprised when he beat the game or the game crashed. He's like, "Oh my God, I can't feel my fingers."
How long does that take?
You know what? I have an article here. Let's see.
While you're doing that, Marga Gomez is writing youngest kid with carpal tunnel. That's
Yeah,
right. How are you doing that? But then, they take like 2-year-olds and put them in violin class and piano class, right? By the
well,
time they're 5, they should be like, they're expecting them to be some version of
yeah.
Mozart.
What do you do? Sure. What do you do with Tetris? 38 minutes. Under 38 minutes, he took
What?
him.
You can beat the game in under an hour?
I guess so. He started playing the classic game when he was 11. Not this round, I assume, but he's the first known person to ever reach the final level when the game breaks.
Ryan says he wins arthritis.
As we celebrate the 40th anniversary of Tetris this year, moments of this are fantastic, blah, blah, blah. For most of the game's history, even the most dedicated players believed level 29 was the highest. At that level, the falling bricks started moving so fast that it became too difficult to keep moving pieces side to side. Uh, let's see, in 2010, however, U.S. gamer Thor, he goes by that name, broke through to level 30 using a new method known as hyper tapping. So I assume instead of just waiting for the blocks to go, you just keep hitting it, and maybe it goes a little faster. But he only got to level 30. As of late December 2023, only artificial intelligence had achieved a true kill screen or the result of a player reaching a level that the game crashes. And that was this kid at level 157.
Honestly, I really didn't know that people were still playing Tetris. I love it. I just thought that there was so much like, my reference is Call of Duty and there's football games and there's stuff that seems so realistic. I'm surprised that people are still playing games that are just 4 blocks.
Right.
And I remember playing in my 20s. And once I got to over 100 layers, you clear 100. I remember
Okay.
the number 100. I'm sure it wasn't level 100, but it started going so fast. I couldn't even see what it was coming down, raining on. I don't understand how these people can even see this fast.
Willis Gibson then said, "Oh my God, I just played Grand Theft Auto. What the fuck is this? It's awesome." Okay. All right. They grow up so fast, don't they? Oh my goodness.
But
Here's
to
some
beat it in 2 years, does that make Tetris feel good or bad?
right. Well, I mean, you can guess what this kid's about. It's God really does like fuck with us, right? I'm gonna make you a genius, and you won't be able to communicate with people. All right, and go get them. Like, all
Mm.
right. How about you don't put all my points in one section. But anyway, congrats. This is a bummer email I got from Corey. Corey writes, "Hello, my sister Connie," and we knew Connie. We knew Connie, Connie Savage. My sister Connie introduced me to Keith and the Girl nearly 20 years ago. She was listening to a podcast on her iPod, all of which was new to me. She lived in New York City at the time and was a loyal listener. I immediately took to the show and have listened faithfully to each episode. Since this time, she has moved from New York City to Walla Walla, Washington. I don't know if that's a real place. I can't thank her enough for introducing your show to me. I take every opportunity to tell everyone I know about your show. It is with a heavy heart that I have to tell you that my sister Connie passed away last evening of pancreatic cancer. I'm including a picture of her and I live at the Keith and the Girl show in May of 2008. I see the picture and I'll put it up. I remember I remember that exactly. Peace, love, and Keith and the Girl, Corey. Man, only the good die young, right? These Darth Vader motherfuckers that are still walking around out there, and somebody like Connie passes away.
I know, Corey, I don't, I think we know there's not much that you can say other than, wow, what a loss. What a
Right.
loss. She was, if you were around during the earlier years of Keith and the Girl, we called her the wine lady
Yes.
because she worked with wine, not because she's just a wino. Um, and she was so generous, sweet, warm. I probably drank the most wine I ever drank with her because
Right.
she was like, "Oh, drink this. This has these notes and those notes." And, I'm just pretending to be an adult around this incredible human being. So, wow. What do we
Yeah,
say? Rest in power. I feel weird saying words like that, like they
that
have
sounds
it.
like appropriating for the record, but
Oh, really?
yeah,
Okay.
but
Okay.
yeah, she was the best. She was the best, Corey.
Wow.
I remember. So she happened to work. She was a listener, and she also happened to work for wine distributors or wine distributors plural. And she said, "Let's see if I can get Keith and the Girl some sponsorship." And she said, "I need a little proof, that to show people that your listeners do drink wine. So I'm going to write on the forums, Keith and the Girl forums, hey." Do you guys drink wine?
And she put a
Does
poll.
she put a poll? And I remember Scott Perez Fox, for those who in the
Oh my
know,
God, Keith.
he wrote on the forums. He goes, "Actually, no, I don't drink wine. It's not my thing." And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? No. And I'd be surprised if a lot of people here drank wine, actually. Oh, okay. Very good. And then
I
for
think
those in the know, Max Darwin wrote to her on the side and said, "Hey, can I get a couple cases of wine?" I'm like, Max. Of course she gave it. Max. Anyway, she touched
mm,
a lot of lives. Is my point. Winter services, they're probably coming up. Do I bring wine?
oh,
You know?
interesting. I
Yeah.
don't, are you allowed to bring wine to church? Because that's like
They have
bringing,
wine there, right? They have their
that's
own,
the,
I guess.
that's the thing. Are you allowed, is it like not kosher because you gotta like, you can't bring Jesus in. It has to be
You
brought
just
in by
be
the,
clear it's not blessed. Be
I
like,
see.
everybody wants to know that their home is better than whatever you brought. So you got to be clear
Mm.
to the priest, like, no, you got the good stuff. That's blood. Yeah.
This is just wine.
Mine's Trader Joe's.
Yeah. Mm, yeah.
Yours is from heaven. But yeah, rest in peace. Connie was cool. Sorry for your loss, Corey, and the whole family. Man, how do you then you talk? Do you find this like somebody close to you dies, and man, you can really give a shit about anybody's problems? Like, I'm seeing an article here about Hershey is being sued by somebody because they have these Reese's peanut butter cups, like they're supposed to look like a football or a pumpkin, and they show like here's an example. I'm holding up a picture of
Oh,
what should be the pumpkin thing, and it's like it's almost like the peanut butter part makes the design on the chocolate part, but in real life, there's no peanut butter part on the outside. There's no design whatsoever.
mm-hmm.
And then does she say to her friends, like, "Hey, I'm on this crusade," and like, who gives a fuck? But you're right. You should sue for that. There's a picture on the cover that is not on the fucking candy. But who's
And
going
we're
to take you
back.
seriously when life
Okay.
has enough problems?
That took
Yes.
a while.
Cynthia Kelly thought she was buying Halloween themed Reese's peanut butter pumpkins with a cute carving of a pumpkin's mouth and eyes as pictured on the product's packaging. But when she opened it, there was no pumpkin carving at all. That's bullshit. I agree.
Is it like I feel like there's no way to just call bullshit without suing, right? Like
Yeah,
if you call bullshit, the company will be like, okay.
right. Kelly filed
But
a
what do
lawsuit.
you
They're
sue
hoping.
for? What do you sit on the stand and say? Like
Well,
I was disappointed. Can you sue for disappointment?
you can. You have to prove that they tried to trick what would be a
Oh, I
reasonable
see.
consumer, and I think you
Okay.
did.
So you
This is
have to first prove yourself to be a reasonable consumer. Do they go
right.
by your like supermarket shopping? Does somebody hang out with you as you make purchases all day for like a month and then report
Right.
report back? What makes you a reasonable person in this scenario?
They
The
test
fact
you.
that you're suing?
They show you a couple grocery store items. Like they'll show you the back of a cereal box and go, "Do you think that there's milk and juice and salad inside this box because it's on the picture? Do you think an interracial family, is inside this box?" And if you go, "No, it's just the cereal." Because that's the name of the cereal, and you showed cereal on the front, I can tell. They go, "Okay, you're reasonable." Now, what do you
Okay.
think about this pumpkin? I'm like, "Well, I think that would look like the pumpkin." And they're like, "Okay, we're going to take this case."
Are you the
Chief,
lawyer on the case? Because it sounds like you just nailed it.
thank you. Kelly has filed a lawsuit against Hershey, alleging the company falsely represented several of its holiday themed products, including Reese's Peanut Butter Pumpkins, White Pumpkins, Pieces Pumpkins, Peanut Butter Ghost, White Ghost, and others. Yeah, I've seen this football. It looks like an egg. There's no stitches on it.
That
The
sounds like a
trick.
reasonable party list if you ask me. Ryan V is saying the technical term is, quote, loss of enjoyment of life.
Yes.
And
Look,
he's
we
saying,
only have these little things. Don't take advantage. We got people dying over here. We got the whole world's a fucking mess, and we just want our little treat. We want our little $1.75 treat, and you just fuck me.
mm, I gotta say, those Reese's peanut butter cups that are in shapes that they change the whole equation of peanut butter to chocolate
Hmm.
and they nailed it. I happen to get the specialty Reese's
I
because
wouldn't.
it's a better ratio than the regular one.
Kelly says I would not have purchased the Reese's Peanut Butter Pumpkins product if I knew that it didn't have detailed carvings of the mouth and or eyes as pictured on the product label. I agree. I say you sue for $1.75 that you paid and $3 million in punitive damages.
I was gonna say, how many did she buy? Is she suing for buying one and being?
I don't know what she's suing for exactly, but it is a class action lawsuit. And I'll tell you something, Kelly, I was hurt too. What do you
Oh,
think of that?
okay. Break out your receipts, folks.
Yeah. The
Hmm.
lawsuit seeks class action status on behalf of numerous consumers who have been tricked and misled by the pictures of the product's packaging. I agree. Have you been tricked by a? Yes. I love it.
How does one join that class action suit?
I maybe you ever get some of those just random letters in the mail or emails, and it's like, I
Yeah.
think I did. Interesting. So I
Yeah,
guess
and I'm
everybody that's ever been to a grocery store, maybe if you have one of those store cards, a rewards card,
oh.
maybe you're on a list now.
Mm.
That'd be cool. Speaking of ridiculous, let me mention this. Mallory Jane, who did art on for the Dad Emails book coming out soon. I'm very excited. Started getting curious about old articles of my dad and sent me an old article from 2002 of when my dad tried to promote the books that he wrote, the a book about the three wise men and Daniel 9, the God prophecy.
Whoa.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, take a look at keithandthegirl.com/dad. It's the whole story of catfishing my dad when my dad hit on my ex, but he ended up really hitting on me because I was pretending I was my ex. Also at /dad is the book reports that Bianca Brady and Andrea Allen did at the time of these two books, and it's so fucking crazy and funny. But I thought this article is what might be fun to read. In a project that began, this is from Somerset newspaper, the local newspaper. If you do anything, you tell them they'll put it in there. It's no big deal. It's not the Times. In a project that began in January of 1999, a Somerset County author has completed two books that include the fictional account of the wise men from the Christmas story, the Christmas story, and a nonfiction analysis of the ninth chapter of the Old Testament book of Daniel.
A nonfiction analysis?
This is a nonfiction analysis, so there'll be more, but it's based on the fact of Bethlehem and the story of Jesus, and but he's gonna add a little flair to it that
Is
might not.
this
Is it
it,
sacrilegious?
no, is it a history, a book of history, since
No, it's
it's not
nonfiction.
fiction?
Right. or it's fiction. Wait.
Wait,
And no, oh no, no, no.
yeah, it's
Daniel
real.
9 is the nonfiction. The Three Wise Men, he added some flair to it. One
I,
tells the end of the world, that's a fact, and the other one is fun based on fact.
oh, I thought this was all what do you call it when you write like in the version of like I wrote the script for BoJack, just one season, one episode. When you're a fan and you write like an
Fan
episode that
fiction.
nobody that no yeah, I thought it was just fan fiction. Like
Sure.
here's what could have happened. But he's saying this is real. This is
He's
a
saying
real
the Daniel 9 is real. There's two
okay,
books, but the Three Wise Men is not necessarily real, but based on the realness of Jesus being born.
sure.
Can't be clear. Mike Malley, STL. I forget what the fuck that means. A resident of Somerset for the past 30 years, may be remembered from the many years of magic shows that he conducted in both Somerset and throughout the United States. I'll tell you something about this Somerset newspaper. You tell them anything, they will print it.
No fact checkers over there.
We
They
didn't
can't
see
afford
one
it.
show in Somerset. Never mind. We've talked about these articles about the United States. He performed in shopping malls and uh, and car openings, car dealership openings, and there was never any charge. So he was getting paid in food, if that.
I mean, I think he performed anywhere you see one of those blow up things that are blowing in the wind.
Yes, yeah.
I think it was
The
either
wind
they can
socks, yeah.
afford that thing or him.
He's like, can I perform here? It's like, we can't pay you. That's fine. Remember, he performed in a department store, and he goes, and he would rate his own articles. Like, this looks like somebody else wrote it, but he would rate his own articles, pay like an advertisement for in a newspaper, but act like it was a real article. And it's like, and he was in the aisle 7 of J.C. Penney's, and he got a standing ovation. I'm like, it's a store. People are standing.
But if they're trying on shoes,
Right. He said he virtually took 2 years off from selling life insurance. Yeah, mom knows that. He virtually took 2 years off from selling life insurance and investments so that he could devote all the time possible to his project.
who is writing this? He took off from his life insurance and investments job. What?
Life insurance. They're like, what do you do for a living? He's like, I sell life insurance and investments. That's the way
And
he
they're
always
like,
said that.
that sounds
Like,
right. Life
okay.
insurance and investment guy.
Malley said he began by searching for as accurate a date to the Star of Bethlehem incident as possible. He did a great deal of research with the help of librarians at both Somerset County Library and Cambria County Library.
Name
He
a
said
librarian there, Sir
he
Malley.
said they were able to obtain for him rare documents that were located throughout the world.
Such as
Right.
no worries. There's not enough words. The word count is too high already.
The first book, The Christmas Firestar, The Exciting 35-Year Adventures of the Three Wise Men, hardcover, 292 pages, 1995, is about the wise men of Bethlehem. However, in the novel, the wise men's journey did not end with the Star of Bethlehem. Rather, it only began with it. Malley based his novel on actual historical events. He said, quote, your nativity set will never look quite the same to you ever again, end quote.
You know why he said that? Because nobody knows what that means. So they're like, oh, yeah,
Right.
sounds good. Yeah.
The adventure begins with glowing crystals in a secret cave far from Bethlehem. It continues for the next 35 years as each of the 7 characters in the story struggles in their own ways to come to grips with the man from Galilee, who they keep bumping into. The second book is a direct result of the first, except it is nonfiction, Malley said. Breaking the True Code, Daniel 9, The God Prophecy, hardcover, 373 pages, $24.95, occurred because Malley was trying to find as an exact date of the first Christmas as possible.
Do you think your mom was offended that he chose hardcover instead of paperback?
Right.
To not buy like 100 copies. What was it? 1,000
400, I think,
of each?
of each. Yeah.
That's
Malley
investment.
says that the 9th chapter of Daniel is, quote, the most startling, accurate prophecy with regard to exact dates that has ever been conveyed to humanity by God, first to the prophet Daniel, and then through Daniel to us.
He humbly said.
He humbly said. Further, Malley said he believes due to the prophecy. Father Malley said he believes that the prophecy is not filled with doom and gloom, as most often portrayed by abundance of biblical scholars, but with hope and love and reassurance.
This is funny. Wayne Smith is writing in. I'm going to put my glasses on for this.
Yes.
What if this is a long con to get us all to buy Father Malley's books? Keith is actually the most loving son, doing one last
Yes.
marketing blast for his elderly
Mhm.
widowed dad.
Hey guys, you want to fuck him? Let's blow his mind and buy all these books.
But first, they have to find them after you dug holes in your backyard and he probably buried
Right.
them.
Here's the best part. The books are already available in the United Arab Emirates,
Whoa.
New York City. They
What?
wrote news. They wrote New City, but they mean New York City. I'll tell you how I know.
Oh,
New
okay.
Orleans and Philadelphia, and on the library shelves at Notre Dame University.
How
The
are these
main cities,
chosen?
the main cities listed are where Malley's children currently reside. The youngest is in the Air Force. So a place you can get these books is New York City. You know how? Because my dad gave me a copy of the book. My
Oh,
brother was at the time in the United Arab Emirates.
I just got the biggest douche chills. Oh my God. So he is
Another
saying,
brother, my older brother, was in living in New Orleans. This is where the books are available because we each had a copy of a book.
I'm stunned.
So I guess if we got a phone call, it'd be understood that we give it. Even though, by the way, they were all he wrote something specifically to each of us in the book. My name is in this book that I'm supposed to sell to somebody.
You could still find it. He's not saying you could buy it. You could find it.
You can find they're available.
They're they're
That's all I
there.
said.
There's in the library of my sons.
Currently, Malley is also conducting seminars. By the way, there weren't any seminars, spoiler. Malley is also conducting seminars on contents of the two books, and interested groups may contact him at 814 blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
And on the bookshelves of Notre Dame, I don't know who went to Notre Dame, but did he happen to pass Notre Dame and he like snuck the books on the shelves? I don't know.
Well, what's interesting about your dad is that he doesn't seem motivated in any proper way to get anything done, but he still penned two books. I'm not saying I don't know what to call those books because he didn't
Yeah.
write a book.
I don't want the word to be written, like, because I write
Yeah,
books. Yeah. I
there
don't want to
weren't
use
enough.
the same word.
He put words into 300 pages. So
Yes.
like even if you were to write any word for in 300 pages long like that, you need motivation for that. You need motivation to write the newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
But then it ends. Then it's so weird. It's so bizarre where he points his energy.
Yep. I virtually took off for 2 years. Oh, did you?
Was there a zero missing after that too?
Right.
Because your mom would have, she would
Oh.
have grammatically corrected it.
Did my mom see this article? It's like, mm-hmm. Good for
I don't
you.
think your mom ever said, that's normal and
Right.
good that my husband did. I think as soon as your mom married your husband,
Right.
your father, she was like, what? She was like,
I
wait, human beings could be like this?
Nobody wants to think about their parents fucking. And when I see an article like this, I'm like, oh, good, because there's no way. Like this would have dried up my mom for 6 months easily. So that
That's
makes
nice
me
that you
feel
know
good.
that about her. That's
I'd
good.
rather, I'd rather, I'd much rather. And then Mallory sent me some articles that they found out that they saw about me. And here's an article when I got silver in some karate tournament.
In the newspaper?
In the newspaper. I mean, if they're putting my dad in the newspaper because he took off work for 2 years, I should get in the newspaper for a silver medal in Somerset.
I think you're just proving that nothing happened in your hometown.
I'm looking at this picture,
The
and I'm
Malleys
not.
were the news. You guys didn't
And
do anything. You hardly you weren't allowed to have people over. You weren't allowed to talk to anyone, but you made the news.
Mhm. I see this person in the picture, Diana. I remember Diana. We were sparring in class, and I kicked her right in the fucking face and busted her nose. And when you do that, they make you turn away from the person, kneel, and wait until they clean the person up. You're not necessarily in trouble. You're not standing in a corner, but it's some kind of form of respect. And then they go, okay, she's better, and fight again, but be careful. And I go, well, what do I do? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And they're like, the teacher, you're fine, just careful. Like that, those aren't words. Like what I did was correct, but I'm your teacher and you're in high school. I think I'm supposed to say, be careful, but we are
So
supposed to kick each other in the fucking face. You do have like the stuff around your face that should, but somehow I got in there.
wait, are you actually supposed to hit each other?
Yes, we
Oh,
were.
okay.
I don't know if it
Okay.
was Fight Club or what, but we were.
So
And
you
I'm like, I
you
don't know what to do.
you kicked her in the
I
face.
kicked her in the face. I
And
mean,
then
we're
she
just,
came back for more.
and then she
And
go, yeah. Then I
right,
just
because
kept
it's
beating the shit out of her. No, but I still remember that one time. I remember the kick. I remember the room.
do you remember your foot hitting her
Yes.
face?
Yeah, I do.
What were you a little worried? Like, fuck.
I was like, God well, I was more like, I don't know what to do.
Mm.
If I'm supposed to hit her a little bit, like I'm not really beating the shit out of her, but you are supposed to tap the face. And
How
that's
did
what I did. And it hit her nose.
how did they match you guys?
We were the same belt.
Oh, okay. I remember taking karate class. I was very, very young, and I'm surprised that I even remember it because I don't have a lot of memories of my childhood. I got to yellow stripe, so let's not get, very.
Okay.
It was, I think it was my parents going, and we're supposed to, I think, karate and ballet, and so I got to try a lot of America. Anyway, so it was before class started, and we're just kind of, being kids on the mat or whatever. And this kid, he uh he goes, "Hey, do you want to spar, like, practice or whatever?" And I was like, "The fuck? Like, what?"
Right.
But I thought, let me not be a dork about this. I go, I guess, and he was a higher belt than me. I think he was older than me. He was clearly more in control and feeling good about him being
Right.
able to fight. And he said something like, and he held his belt and he goes, "It's not like if we were on the street, you would go or I would go, like, I'm this belt, you're that belt, and we're not supposed to spar." And I remember my little brain thinking, that sounds logical, but I don't want to.
Right.
And I said, "Yeah, of course." And I was about, I think I even took my stance, and I'm like, I don't even know what this stance
Wow.
does yet. I don't. And then the class started, and I was like, "Oh, I guess we can't. Rain check." It
Kind
was
of spits
almost
on the
fun.
ground. Right.
I almost had so much fun with you. This
You
was
cut break.
such a blast. And then in my 20s, I took capoeira. And then in your first class at the end, they do this in every class. At the end, they do a circle, and you, one at a time, you kind of go in the circle and you do a couple moves with each other. Then one person switches and another person switches. And even if it's your first class, the teacher's like, "Go ahead." And I'm like, I okay, here's my one move from side to side. Okay, kick them. I'm like, "Okay, you can't see me. Let me cartwheel at you. It's capoeira." And I'm like,
Right.
"Here's my cartwheel in the circle. I just fought someone." And then I go back, "Ba-da-na-eh." I'm like, I know the song. Is that okay?
I see in this article, like I said, I got a silver belt, the gold, silver
What's a
medal, the
silver
gold,
bet? Oh, okay. I was
right,
like, I don't think
silver
you took
medal,
karate.
right,
I
right, right,
don't.
right, right. The gold went to Chuck Norris that day. I see. I was,
You
I
got
like the
silver for kicking a woman in her face?
that was different.
Oh,
This was
okay.
it was happened to be a boy that I won against. Thank you very much. Um, Technically, I say I'm a brown belt. My dad, as punishment for something that I don't know what I did, per usual, would not let me take the brown belt test that I obviously would have passed. That day on a weekend, he wouldn't let me go to school. He wouldn't let me go to this class. When they bring in the grand poobah from Pittsburgh to judge you, who's like a triple black belt, and he's going to make it a big ceremony, and I I couldn't take that test, and my teacher couldn't just didn't have the permission to give it to me herself. What an
Holy
asshole.
Was your mom at work?
I needed him or something. Yeah, and he deliberately wouldn't do it.
You don't like go back to Somerset and measure how far everything was from your house, right? Because you would cry,
I
right?
would cry, especially
Yeah.
well in New York. I mean, we're big walkers here in New York, as you heard from People Magazine. So yeah, it wouldn't be a big deal in Somerset now, but
Yeah, because
yeah,
I was in the town of Somerset,
right.
Pennsylvania, and I don't want to say this to you now. It feels like you could probably get around within a 1 mile radius of where
I
you
think
know?
I think because of my direction blindness, I didn't realize how far things were, and
Yeah.
I remember like summer school, he wasn't gonna drive me that final day, and I was in summer school to get ahead. I wasn't because I fucked up in regular school. I was trying to get ahead of school,
You were
and
trying to do
as
something and they had no
yeah,
plans for your
and
summer, so you went.
he didn't want me going to the graduation day or the last day, whatever would have like stopped everything. And I'm like, he wouldn't pick me up. That's what it was. I don't remember why, like how I got driven there in the first place, but he wouldn't pick me up. And I'm like, well, I have to walk home. And I walked home and I'm like, oh, I could have been doing this earlier, I think.
Oh my God. That makes your heart sink.
He thought I
But
couldn't beat him up if I never got the brown belt. Maybe that worked out in his favor.
well, you can't on the street say I'm a brown belt and you're a white belt, and then,
Right.
you're gonna have to just fight.
Right.
Also, that's bad news for you in your childhood. But
Mm-hmm.
the good news is I think we should call this episode I'm Walking Here.
Okay.
So, hey, tons of work already done.
Oh my God. Here's another newspaper article from my past. This is when I was 22 years old. The
Is this what you
magistrate,
posted on Reddit?
yes,
Holy shit.
this is the magistrate report.
I
This is
was
when you're in
wondering how you found that.
Mallory found it.
What's a
Mallory has some kind
magistrate?
of newspaper service that they can see
Uh,
in the past.
is it Google? What's what's a
What's
magistrate?
it's like a police blotter.
Ah,
Charged with cutting milkshake machine wires. Somerset police charged Keith Malley, 22, 608 Center Avenue, Somerset, with cause. Why do you got to say where I live? What the fuck is that important?
just blocks away from the restaurant.
Right. Was causing or risking a catastrophe at the Eaton Park where he was employed. Malley allegedly used a steak knife to cut the electrical cord on a milkshake machine, exposing live wires while another employee was mopping the floor in that area. Could have been a catastrophe. I was sick of making milkshakes and I cut the cord of the milkshake machine. And I did it also this every I did it for somebody else's attention too, and this guy thought it was funny. It seemed, but
Is it the guy who's mopping the floor? Because I think that's the guy who told on you also.
no, I know this guy told on me. The
Uh,
guy that I did it in front of was the manager's son, but still seemed like he'd be cool. And apparently, obviously, he ratted me out. But the manager, she couldn't say that my son told me, but she knew that her son wasn't lying. Is like, I know, and I'm like, and I just denied it. And then she takes out of the bus bin the burnt knife because it was still plugged in the machine, and was like, "This is the fucking proof." And I'm like, I didn't do it. What can I tell you? That was the end of that.
was it actually a steak knife?
Yeah. I mean, it was like a sharper knife. Yes.
And I'm not judging. I don't know that I would know how to cut the cord to a milkshake myself,
You
but
just
did
got
you
it.
not unplug it?
No, I did not. There were sparks. Nothing crazy, but there were sparks. Yeah.
Was it one swipe or like you're, sawing it off?
I wasn't. I was almost a brown belt. A little song. A little song.
And when the sparks started, did you
It was all at
stop?
once. There were sparks, and I
Uh,
was done.
at any time were you nervous because the sparks that you
Yeah, sure is a
did?
surprise. Like, oh, sparks, but it was already done.
Huh.
Yeah.
And then I get like you don't think that you're gonna get away with it. How could you
I
think
thought
you're,
I'd get away with it. They
but
would know somebody
how?
in the restaurant cut it, but how would they know it's me? I didn't seem like an asshole.
Okay. And then and then you just thought that they would go, oh, this
They'd
machine
be
got
mad,
cut,
but what are they going to do?
not by another milkshake machine.
Not that day. I
Can't
did
you just
everybody a
play
favor.
sick or something and go home?
It's my last day. I had to get paid. That's what this article is saying. Malley allegedly
Oh,
used a steak knife to cut the electrical cord on the milkshake machine. They added all this bullshit, by the way, mopping the floor like there was going to be a big accident. He was also charged with recklessly endangering other people and criminal mischief. Somebody did tell me I made the local news, by the way.
did you get
Malley allegedly,
arrested?
no, nothing happened. Nothing ever happened.
Then how did
Ma-
you make this thing?
I made it, and I guess the judge was like, who gives a fuck? Maybe the judge was a waiter in his past life. Malley allegedly cut the wire on August 23rd, his last day of work, because he hated to milkshakes.
Are they assuming that or did they interview you?
Nobody talked to me. So maybe the kid that I was next to,
Yeah, maybe.
and he was into it, by the way. But the kid I was next to, maybe we were like agreeing, yeah, fuck milkshakes. And then he told the mom, and then the mom told the cops he hated making milkshakes.
Mm.
But yeah, how else would you come to that conclusion?
Well, here's a question. If you saw somebody do that and your mom was the manager, would you tell on them?
No,
You wouldn't tell your mom.
I wouldn't egg him on and then tell my mom.
Mm. He was egging you on.
Yeah, he was into it.
Mm.
August 23rd, his last day of work because he hated two milkshakes. Charges were filed with District Justice Arthur K. Cook of Somerset, who will schedule a preliminary hearing, but nothing happened. I didn't even know it made the paper. I heard that it made the TV news.
For real?
Yeah. No,
It's
nobody came to me about it.
did you knew that was your last day?
Yes.
And then you cut it and then you left
I
without
believe I
people.
knew it was I'm sure I knew it was my last day. Yeah.
Oh, but people noticed before you left, right? She didn't call you up and go, I know today was your
I
last
was
day, but
sent
this.
I was sent home right after that. Yes.
Oh. Oh, you knew
But
it was your last day because you just
no, I think I knew it was my last day and I cut it.
hmm.
Maybe like I'm doing the whole restaurant a fucking favor. But
Wow.
I probably knew it was legit my last day and cut it. And then it's like, well, it's your last day. Get the fuck out, anyways.
Wow, what kind of machine is this? I've made milkshakes before. Is how
Oh,
hardcore is
such
it? And how
it
hard is
was
it
a
to
to
make a
do.
milkshake? No offense, I'm not judging. I
It
just
takes
want to
so
know.
much time, and maybe it wasn't the greatest, fastest machine, but it really ruined the day.
Mm,
I mean, McDonald's milkshake machine, you just press a fucking button and they act like it's broke all the time.
that's true. They
Me,
they
I'm at
think
a diner doing this shit. Fuck out of here.
yeah, cleaning the inside. I had a friend who worked at Tasty Delight in high school. When I say that lightly because I think she made it 1 or 2 days because as soon as they make you clean out the inside of that machine, you're like, "Oh, I don't think A, I want to do that, and B,
Right.
I ever want to eat frozen yogurt again from this place because I think a lot of people quit when it's time for them to clean this."
Yeah, yeah. Then I see the same year, this is 1996. There's a section in the newspaper called Getting By. And I guess you give little tips and tricks, little life hacks.
Hmm.
And apparently I gave a life hack of some kind.
Is this still Somerset newspaper?
This is still Somerset newspaper. They don't have much to, I mean, again, my dad was in it for his books.
That's a
Uh,
cute section though. I like that for a newspaper, especially a local one.
it happens to be right under the police blotter.
Hmm.
It's not the
Holy
same
shit.
day. It's not the same paper, but
Oh, was that your life hack? Is cut the machine that you
right,
don't want to work with? A
right,
literal hack job.
right. So they didn't mind this, but it's the same year, so that's funny. Hey, is that the guy from the police blotter? Anyways,
Oh,
he
right.
is he's a little life hack.
Okay.
But I knew this guy Patrick and his dad was the manager or owner. He was the big guy at the newspaper. I don't know if somehow I had an in for the stupid thing I'm about to tell you. I can't imagine I wrote the newspaper some life advice. But anyway, Keith Malley, Somerset RD4, says to remove crayon from walls, use rubbing alcohol.
You said that?
I guess I said that.
No, you didn't.
I don't think I did.
No, they got your sister's name wrong. I don't,
I was at
is,
RD4.
and I'm not saying that because your sister's female. She's the crafty one in your family. She
Right.
has crafts, and I imagine if anyone has a crayon in that family, it's her.
But why would I tell? Am I trying to get laid? Like, what the fuck would I tell the newspaper?
Hmm.
Hey, this will be good. This is my road to stardom.
Were you constantly taking crayons off the wall?
I did have to scrub the walls at home, but I don't remember getting life hacks.
Hmm. Did your father teach you that and he should take credit?
Son, if you want to make the newspaper,
Just write them.
give
They,
them
they
give them
don't have a lot of
something,
material.
give them something they can work with. All right, I got all these notes on movies. We'll have to do a different day, though. Very, very excited. I did see this. This I thought was funny. You know how Craig says the greatest movie of all time was that stupid movie Mother?
God. Did he say of all time or does it just keep escalating with you?
It's literally the greatest movie ever made, and if you put all other great movies together, it would still be worse than Mother. End quote. I see that there's this popular site called what is it called? Cinema something. Cinema Score. And they judge movies and they put a list together of the 21 worst movies of all time. And on that list is Mother. That feels so good. That feels so good.
I gotta watch this movie.
None of
I don't know
my
why
movies
that's the
are
lesson. Why is that the lesson that I just learned? I don't
none
know.
of my movies are on this list. Not
Uh,
Private Parts, not The Sixth Sense, not The Matrix, not even The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. But Mother is. And after we've had this debate for years, I think this is proof that I'm right when it comes to movie opinion.
all right, read the 21 because
I don't have that. But
oh.
The
Oh my God,
Grudge.
it was just pettiness. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
just
no,
that.
that's the only point. You wouldn't have heard of half these movies. The Grudge is one, for example. I see that.
Hmm.
So thank you. That feels very good. I did see the Jeffrey Epstein bunch of names are coming out. If you went to Epstein Island, the courts released the documents. Hundreds of pages of documents from a lawsuit connected to accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein has been unsealed. So
Very
some
unnerving.
today, and then in the near future, more is supposed to come. What's that?
It feels so gross. It feels so gross because it's such a huge crime and the way it's being
Teased.
released out to the public is, I don't know, it feels slimy because it's like another five revealed and I'm like, what is this? Access Hollywood? These are these are child molesters. This, I don't
Right.
know, for some reason I think this is a little too cute the way they're releasing it. It's a little too social media-y.
But we
It's
should know, right? Should we know?
no, that's not my point. Yeah,
Right.
no, don't know. Like, absolutely. The way that they are, it, the way that it's being portrayed feels more like here's the gossip than here's the crimes and the information. It
Right.
just has that feeling and it just adds an extra layer of gross.
It's the first batch of documents to be released under a December court order, with more expecting in the coming weeks. The documents in total are expected to include nearly 200 names, including some of Epstein's accusers, prominent business people, politicians, and others. So far, the deposition transcripts included references to several public figures, as have been previously reported, including Prince Andrew, as well as former President Bill Clinton. A spokesman for Clinton previously said that the former president had flown to Epstein's private plane, because he's in the fucking manifest. They know that, but said he knew nothing about the terrible crimes that Epstein was committing. Like you don't feel an aura. I don't know. I find it hard to believe. Also, coincidentally, you used your intern as a humidor. I don't know. It doesn't look good. Yeah.
Did you see Jimmy Kimmel was responding to someone who do you have that? Is that, am I getting
Aaron
ahead of
Rodgers, the Jets football player. He's a has been, but he I think he like got in the broke his Achilles tendon or something like this, and so he's out of football right now. He was paid millions of dollars to play for the Jets, so he's not playing. The Jets are losing, but he still goes on all these talk shows and talks shit.
Mm.
He's anti-vax. He's a real fucking weirdo. He was on the Pat McCaffrey show, a sports show, and he says that somehow they end up, there's only so much to talk about sports. They end up talking about this Epstein list. And Rogers said of the list, it's supposed to be coming out soon. There's a lot of people, including Jimmy Kimmel, that are really hoping that it doesn't come out. He's mad at Jimmy Kimmel because Jimmy Kimmel once called him a tinfoil hatter because Aaron Rodgers said that the government is using doing all this talk about UFOs to distract us from Epstein revelations. And Kimmel's basically saying, you know what, you're an idiot. So now Aaron Rodgers is saying, yeah, well, I bet you were on Epstein's island. How about that? And
I liked Jimmy Kimmel's response.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he said, shut your fucking mouth or I'm going to sue you. He said,
Basically, he said, take my name out of your face.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, Kimmel. I have it here. Let's see, where is this? Uh,
You didn't expect me to bring it up because I normally don't know this stuff, but I guess it's in the major timelines, including it made
yeah,
itself into mine, folks.
I'm looking where I have this. Oh, here it is. Okay. Your rec let's see. Dear asshole. A asshole. So I guess that's for Aaron has two A's. I guess that's to be clear.
Uh,
But he tags him at the end, so
I missed that.
he's not
Okay.
subtle. For the record, I've not met, flown with, visited, or had any contact. This is on X, previously Twitter. I have not met, flown with, visited, or had any contact whatsoever with Epstein, nor will you find my name on any list other than the clearly phony nonsense that soft brained wackos like yourself can't seem to distinguish from reality. Your reckless words put my family in danger. Keep it up, and we will debate the facts further in court at Aaron Rodgers 12. He added. There you go. And the host of that show ended up apologizing today. McAfee suggested that Rogers' remarks were meant to be a shit talk joke that then turned into a very serious allegation. He understands why Kimmel got upset. We apologize for being part of it, McAfee said. I can't wait to hear what Aaron has to say about it. Hopefully, those two will be able to settle this, not court wise, but be able to chit chat and move along. Yeah, they're going to have a meal
What?
together.
Why
Yeah,
is that what you hope?
right. Because that's what these sissies do.
This,
I hope you guys
why
can
do
work it out.
we
No, I said
why do
fuck
we
you.
need them to work it out? Why do we
Right.
need them to sit down and talk anyway?
Yeah. No, Aaron, shut the fuck up. Your football has been the end. And that's going to be the end of it. Oh, well. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see if more things come from that. I did see what was it? Like the Onion had a funny article that I saved
On the
somewhere
Epstein list?
on the about the Epstein list. Here it is. Report list of so-called elite perverts lacks star power. Like everybody's just like, this is kind of lame. Clinton, we know, but who's that? This guy works in the tech business. I don't know this guy. Who cares? You know. So maybe there'll be more exciting names soon. We'll see. Here's I'm. Oh, you know what I'm seeing too? You know who is on this list? It seems he's dead. So whatever. Stephen
Michael
Hawking,
Jackson. Oh, I saw that.
Michael Jackson too. No joke.
Yeah, I know. I saw yeah, Stephen Hawking, but you seem very surprised.
Stephen Hawking in a wheelchair is going to Jeffrey Epstein's
He
island.
did so much in that wheelchair. Could we not say that he can't do things in the wheel? He did everything in that wheelchair.
Well, he had multiple affairs in that wheelchair. That's true.
Yeah, he
Right.
couldn't talk, couldn't move, and he still had an affair. So I think he's very capable.
Michael Jackson is on this list. David Copperfield, both, by the way, obviously accused of sexual assault.
Mm.
So, there's you're starting to believe some of these things. Um, Jeffrey Epstein's former attorney and friend Alan Dershowitz, who was in that Netflix documentary where underage girls said that he fucked them. He's denying it. Jeffrey Epstein's former attorney and friend Alan Dershowitz defended the late multimillionaire sex offenders associates, saying none of us knew about his private life, that he kept a secret. But you
What
claim to be
private
a
life?
genius.
I don't think
The
we're
private
talking about,
life of fucking underage girls.
but
They
we're not talking about private life. We're talking about parties.
right. He's a Harvard law professor, 85 years old, but he didn't see nothing. So who's he? Who's he to know? You want
Harvard law professor. What do
Harvard
I
law
know?
professor, but hey, he didn't see nothing. You want to hide stuff? You apparently you can. Oh well. Tomorrow is the KATG Awards. Newsy's joining us, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, he knows how to add all the little behind the scenes about the clips that we're gonna play and the guests that we're gonna remember.
he's
So I
in
think
the
that'll be a lot of
history.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, in your VIP package, keithandthegirl.com/VIP, he has this show Q&A. And he picks whatever day it is. Let's say today is January 4th, and he'll go back the last 19 years and find every time we did a show on January 4th. And we'll go through that timeline and who the guests were. And that's always a lot of fun. But the VIP program, I love it so much. Last week on Keith and the Girl with the Moros, where we dive deep into the last literal week that we did and how are the guests behind the scenes, that kind of thing. And this week, because there's so much to talk about, it's just me and Chemda. So we're gonna have to deep delve
I'm
us.
gonna I'm gonna have to tell him what an asshole you were.
I see on the forums people do have questions. This is where your questions get answered. Who
Oh
the fuck is
yeah.
Kara? I'm like, we're gonna have a behind. Are Keith and Kyle still together? By the way, I see on the forums. So this is where it all gets covered on the behind the scenes shows. Also in VIP, of course, Diamond Dogs, Daddy Issues that I do with my brother. If you like the
This
love
is
the dad stuff,
incredible. I'm sorry. I was like not touching that, but I guess you expect Rod and Karen to touch that.
yeah,
So
if it's on the forums,
good.
it's their journalistic job, it seems. So
I
yeah,
love it.
yeah,
Love it.
I can't shy. Uh 24-hour marathon, February 3rd through the 4th. And you remember that, of course, Hemda said the other day by 1, 2, 3. All right.
No, that's too dangerous. They're gonna miss it. February 3rd. It's the weekend before the Super Bowl. Before the Super Bowl.
Right. I'm gonna add a little stand up at the end. This is me talking about Stephen Hawking. Speaking of which, it's from the album Drip Drip, available where your finer stand ups are sold. I love that album Drip Drip. It's one of my favorites. Talks about sobriety, my divorce. I'm pretty proud of it. But I'll play the final track, Stephen Hawking, and I think that's everything for now. Tomorrow's the awards show.
Get
All
dressed
right.
up. We go live at noon Eastern.
All right. Let's do it. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. I just want to give a behind the scenes shout to Bad Beef, who keeps giving away the Keith and the Girl memberships on YouTube, and I think that's so fun when
Oh,
we're
thank you.
live. So yeah,
That's
thank
sweet.
you. And earlier Mimi saying that she remembers the wine lady, and
Yeah.
just yeah. I mean, if you were around for that, it was yeah. There's
Yeah, she
not
was sweet.
much to say. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's really okay. So lots of love to you all. Let's do this again
Yep.
tomorrow.
All right.